Thank you for your support. Thank you. Hello, everyone. QI Maple here. I believe by now there must still be a lot of players who aren't familiar with Astral Pact, right? So in this video, I'll be talking about what you need to pay attention to regarding Astral Destiny before the season ends. Well, without further ado, let's jump right into it. Let's take a few minutes first to quickly go over what Astral Destiny actually is, just to make sure everyone can follow along with the rest of the content. To explain it in one sentence, Astral Destiny is the reflection of your investments in the current season. Namely, these specific items you invest in on the progression page. After the season ends, they can be converted into various stats that permanently boost your character, and they will continue to scale up with your progression in future seasons. I know what everyone is definitely dying to ask is, how much should I get? Here's the main point. I want you guys to stop asking, how much should I get? And instead ask, how much more do I need to reach the next useful tier? This is extremely important because if your goal is, how much should I get? You're going to have to do a massive amount of calculating for Astral Destiny. And I really don't want you guys to make playing a game this tedious. I'd much rather you just play the game normally and then make slight adjustments based on your rough Astral Destiny count towards the end of the season, stopping just right at a comfortable tier and saving the rest of your resources for the next season. Because when I was making Astral Destiny guides for players in the past, I noticed that a lot of them would calculate their target tier, but then fail to efficiently acquire the resources needed for it. They end up putting themselves in an awkward spot where they neither reach their goal nor have any resources left, forcing them to use Loot Bar to acquire more resources in a short amount of time. Want to buy SwordxStaff packs and vouchers without spending too much? I've got some useful info for you. Lately, I've been using Loot Bar, the safest and most affordable trading platform out there. Their prices are 12% cheaper than official stores. For example, a $99 pack costs only $79 here, saving you nearly 20 bucks. It's 100% safe. You only need your UID, never your password. The self-top-up through their secure cloud device is instant and super easy. Plus, Loot Bar has a 4.9 rating on Trustpilot with a 7-day refund guarantee. Don't miss out. Sign up through my link below to get an extra 10% off new user coupon, saving you 22% in total. Go check it out. I've put together a recommended Astral Destiny tier chart in my Google Sheets, which players of all spending levels can use. Generally, the vast majority of regular players will land somewhere between 104 and 128. If your Astral Destiny tier exceeds 128, it means your investment in seasonal resources this season is higher than your investment in your base power. Base power includes things like skill star levels, relic collection rates and star upgrades, Phantomon materials, and so on. Seasonal power investments, on the other hand, are things like chrono sand, raw ore, and so forth. Now, if your tier is below 104, it means your seasonal investment in the current season is on the lower side, and your overall experience will be worse than most players at your same spending level. This logic also applies to mid-spenders and whales, which you can probably tell from the colored boxes I have here. 260 and 290 are in the Leviathan territory, basically tiers that can only be reached by players who have virtually nothing left to upgrade. That's why they are grouped within the blue box, but I didn't fill them with the blue background designated for whales. The 72 and 88 at the very top are meant for free-to-play players whose overall progression is lagging a bit behind. If you've looked at guides made by players on the Chinese server, they generally recommend 104. However, that can be a bit tough for newbies who usually lack the means to acquire and effectively invest resources. That's why I opted to lower the bar here. I don't want you guys to force it or stress out just because you can't hit the standard benchmark. However, I definitely still recommend hitting at least the 72 tier, because dropping below 72 basically means your dungeon progression is trailing behind a normal pace for the entire time. You really do need to keep the bare minimum standard in mind. Otherwise, you'll easily run into issues where your power just can't keep up in future seasons. Making these videos definitely takes quite a bit of time, so if you enjoy my videos and want to learn more about traps to avoid, I highly recommend checking out my Discord. It has the most comprehensive beginner guides available right now, and you can pretty much find everything you need to know right there. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.